I haven't tried this yet, so let's see. What's up, everybody? It's Armov. And we're going to talk about a topic today that is so very important for everybody, but I want to speak to musicians and creative people specifically today, and it's the concept of discipline. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content I'm putting up. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss a video. And let's get started right away with the first topic. Before we get into the concept of discipline itself, I want to talk about the idea of a social circle. You know, there's going to be times in your life where you're going to want to lean on a social circle for support. You know, there's some terrible circumstances that can go down. Losing your job, to being homeless, to getting in a terrible accident, you know, where you lose a limb or something like that, right? In these circumstances, hold on, let me pour some beer in here, huh? My friend just brought some stuff from Lone Pine Brewery here in Magnolia, Texas. So I'm gonna pour a little bit. There you go. It's a nice dark stout. I haven't tried this yet, so let's see. Wow. It's exceptional, the difference between a homemade beer and something out of a factory. But anyway, where were we at? Social circle. Good friends can enrich your life, right? A relationship with good friends and family can enrich your life. I'll say it again. But relationships with bad friends will destroy your life. Forget about making gains in your career, in your spirituality, in your mind, in your body, if you have bad friends. Here's the deal with bad friends, because sometimes they can be really fun, right? I remember in my undergrad years when I had some bad friends during the time in which I was heavily binge drinking. I was binge drinking. I mean, I was essentially an alcoholic. I was drinking all throughout the day, whereas this is the first drink I've had in at least, I would say, almost 48 hours. This tiny little bit of beer. But if you can imagine, I had a flask full of vodka, and I would go to class with this vodka. And guess what happened? This was the mindset, unhealthy mindset I was in. My social circle went from people that were trying to, again, be spiritually, physically, mentally healthy to essentially bums. Some of them were near homelessness. All of them were depressed, had a bag of psychological issues, everything from bipolarism to borderline situations. I mean, they couldn't keep a job. They couldn't keep friends. They had awful relationships with their parents. They were broke all the time. They were sad about where their life was headed, unhealthy. I mean, the list goes on. And I thank God that I had the upbringing of great parents to let me see that. Despite my weak state at the time, I could see how being with these kinds of friends could destroy me. So again, it's super important to have good friends in your life. Bad friends, when you're feeling down, they can't support you. What they'll do is they'll pour a little numbing agent, you know, they'll pour a little poison in your drink to numb the pain. But they don't have the tools necessary to bring you out of anything. They don't have the tools necessary to heal you and help you, which is where discipline comes in. But before discipline, here's one more thing. This is a great article that I found called I Am, Therefore I Buy: Low Self-Esteem and the Pursuit of Self-Verifying Consumption. Another thing that's so heavily connected to discipline, overconsumption of material goods. You know, good marketing is all about creating a sense that you are not enough. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you feel like, hold on, I'm going to take a bite of some of this food right here. I got some eggs with cage-free eggs with a little onion and tomato. These tomatoes are so good. It tastes just like the home country. And some lightly fried pork in triple grade A butter. You can't beat it. But anyway, so creating that sense of self-esteem, that's good marketing. Because in order for them to sell you anything, they first need to convince you that you need it. And if we look at what we really need in life, do we really need the most of the things that we possess?
No.
when you become programmed to always want something, always want some new gadget, some new thing to buy, a lot of things happen in your life. First of all, it keeps you on a low vibration. It keeps you in a material vibration. Instead of thinking about what I can do to improve my heart, my soul, my mind, my body, to be happy in myself, all you're thinking about is, what's another thing I can get? What's another thing I can add to my material possessions to make me happy? The point is, again, it's when you get obsessed about the material, there's no room for discipline. You are basically hijacked. You become a slave to the material. Finally, we get to the topic of discipline. You know, discipline has a bad rap because people think, hold on, I'm going to take another sip of this beer, okay? Ah, that's earthy, bro. And don't forget about Baltico number 3. Straight from Mother Russia. Discipline gets a bad rap. People talk about discipline and they think, oh, he's going to be a square. He's trying to make me boring. You know, he's trying to make me lame. I'm not going to have any fun. BS. Quite the contrary. When you have discipline in your life, let's say you're in a circumstance in which something really bad happened in your life, right? But you might not have the comfort of a social circle at that point. You might not have the comfort of immediately being able to call somebody, mom, dad, friend, whatever. What are you going to do? Are you going to bleed to death? Right? What are you going to do? Are you going to give up? This is where discipline comes in. When things are going wrong in your life, discipline can save you. Listen, you can go to a therapist all you want, but make no mistake about it. The therapist does not want to see you go too soon. Because the therapist is making hundreds of dollars an hour. Maybe you have an affordable one too. And that is, we have some affordable options for psychiatry. I'm not saying psychiatry is a bad thing, but everybody should still have the power to help themselves because it's a balance. Your social circle, right? Health professionals, right? But then in the center of it is you. It's always you. It'll always be you. You are your best friend. If you don't have you intact, these two people will take advantage of you. Your social circle will see your weakness. They'll take advantage of you. And the professionals will see your weakness and they will take advantage of you. Guys, discipline is a super positive thing. And it's so important for musicians because we're inherently emotional people, right? Let me get another sip of this beer, man. Let me tell you about a couple of articles you should look into. This is from the U.S. National Library of Medicine and the National Institutes of Health. It's called Effective Discipline, a Healthy Approach. This is talking about effective, healthy discipline for children. Individuals who were not giving proper discipline in their childhood, in their adolescence, when they had a problem, they threw tantrums, they locked themselves in their doors. The parents had absolutely no control over them, right? They were spoiled. What happens in their life? They are aimless. When things don't go their way, they're helpless. They don't know how to pick themselves up. They're destroyed by difficult circumstances. And then there's people who were enriched with a healthy amount of discipline. This is what they do. They pick themselves off the ground. They brush off the mud. Hold on, let me get a little taste of this food, man, because I'm getting excited. They brush themselves off and they keep going because 99% of the things you face in your life, you have the strength. You have the strength. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to keep going to some professional to give you strength. Man, I'm spitting food everywhere now. I'm getting so excited. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to rely on trashy people to give you happiness. You are enough by yourself, and this is why it's so important to invest in your strength. Musicians, again, like I said, they're inherently emotional people because we need to feel. Right, in our line of work, it's so important to feel things. The best stuff happens creatively when we're really feeling it. So it's easy to get in a cycle of depression, of self-loathing, of not feeling like you're enough, of feeling like you need something in your life. But when you invest in yourself and you invest on the concept of discipline, you try to make discipline part of your team, what happens, right? Think about what happens. Your playing gets better. You're more mindful. You're more calm. And especially during these times in a quarantine. This is why discipline is so important. We're understanding this now more than ever because we're having to look ourselves in the mirror at home now, stuck at home. It's becoming painfully obvious which one of us have been living in a state of distraction, avoiding ourselves, avoiding who we are and how we feel and our own strengths, and relying on others too much. And those of us who do have the strength to persevere. Here's another article that's so very important. I'm spitting everywhere. The science and practice of self-control. And I'll link you all to these articles, right? It indicates that what's more important than just having intellect and reading stuff and inundating yourself with information is to have self-control. If you go back in history about 100,000 years, imagine telling a caveman who's at the brink of death basically every single moment of their life that they need discipline in order to succeed. Imagine going to a caveman who just had a kid with a cave woman, and he better go out there and kill a mammoth, otherwise his whole group of people are just gonna die, and they're gonna starve, and they're gonna either die of starvation or they're gonna die of the cold. Imagine telling that guy, hey man, if you don't have any discipline, you're gonna die. They had it. They instinctually already knew. This is what's lost in our generation because we've been kind of like bred down to be subservient to the authority, the professionals that tell us what we need. What really we should be doing is relying on ourselves because we already have all the proper strength and instinct to survive. We just need to get back into that. Do not think of discipline as a negative thing. It can enrich your life. It can get your playing together, right? Your business strategies together. It can make you focus. Simplifying your life has been the greatest thing I've ever done for myself. And I continue to do that every single day. I continue to strive for that. I don't always succeed, but when I do, the fruits of that, it's incredible. If you found the content of this video useful, please give me a like, give me a subscription, hit the bell notification. Let me know in the comments what you agree with. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I missed a certain point. Or maybe you have your own personal experiences to share with me. Or maybe you can tell me something else about discipline that I didn't touch up on. And without further ado, Armov signing off. And I'll see you guys on the next video.